Hello, everybody. We are back, and boy, we got some things to talk about, or at least a video to talk about here. But, anyways, we are back. This is Two Legs, a Paul McCartney podcast. I'm one of your two co-hosts, a little under the weather. My partner might be a little under the weather as well, but it's that time of year. Weather's changing, allergies, sinuses are starting to kick in. But I'm Tom Hunyadi, and I got my buddy, my partner in crime, my backwards traveler, who I'm sure he'll bring that little. We'll talk about that a little bit more later on in the episode. But Andy Nichols, Andy, my friend, cool day, dude. Cool day. A video popped up on YouTube. A couple well-known people were in there. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, well, it's good to be back here doing another show with you, Thomas. And this past couple days we saw that Paul was going to be dropping a tour diary. We were like, what's that going to be? Is that going to be the full concert, like he did with the Grand Central, which is on his channel, or
right?
What was it? It was going to be a diary of some sorts. And today we are recording this on the 24th of September. At 1 p.m. Eastern, Paul dropped an 11-minute tour diary recapping the 3 magical nights in February at the Bowery. Odd timing, on the eve of a tour to go back to that show again,
Right.
That was, 6 months ago or whatever. So
because he had just done a video before that, showing all the places he went to since 2022.
Since the tour started properly. Yeah,
right.
The entire basically got back map from the first show, all the way to the end of the last year. So pretty comprehensive, like here's where we've been, here's what we've done.
Right.
And now they encapsulate 3 magical nights over an 11-minute video. And we're like, oh, what's this going to be? And it was really well done. And I know you haven't seen it yet. Really cool. A lot of crowd shots of everybody lining up. Paul's, tour team and security guy, Mark, kind of with like little tidbits in there. So basically it's like they highlight each night, Paul getting to the gig, talking to everybody, warming up, talking to the crowd, tons of crowd shots,
You didn't hear Kyle Hand yell
no,
out, Yvonne's the one.
But the video of Paul leaving that gig on night 1 where Kyle's behind him is shown. So because that on night 1 is when Kyle shouted that, and you see that video from night 1. So Kyle is back there somewhere shouting that. I have to watch it again because I was at work when it drops. I really have to watch it in full, like basically frame by frame. Night 1, okay. Night 2, as you know, we were there, me and MVP and Joan. At the end of it, they kind of talked to people in the crowd shot. Another buddy of ours, friend Julian, he got a lot of screen time on there too. And I'm spoiling this for you because you haven't seen it yet. But then at the end of night 2, you see me and the MVP off to the side talking with this one guy talking in front of us. So we are officially on Paul McCartney's YouTube channel in some form, and I'll take it.
Very exciting stuff, my friend. Very exciting. I was on the way to see a movie, and it was supposed to start at 1:00. So I click on it while I was driving, and this was like about 1:12, and it hadn't started yet. So I don't know if it started a little later than 1:00.
Well, they had a 5-minute countdown. So at 1:00.
Oh, okay.
The 5-minute YouTube, like before our 2 leg shows, sometimes we have the countdown. They had a 5-minute countdown before this. So now it's like a little after 1. And I don't know, maybe it was a little delayed on your end, but it dropped and it was 11 minutes long, and it really sums up that Bowery experience pretty damn well on the eve of the next leg of a tour, which is maybe that's why he did it, because here we are, a week from now, I'll be in Vegas, and you'll be right behind me.
Be right there. Yep. I can't wait. You just showed the shirt from the Bowery, and speaking of shirts, I'm still waiting for the these wing shirts that were shipped. These things were shipped 2 weeks ago from Europe. Okay, I had an estimated release estimated delivery day on the 22nd. Well, that has come and gone. Still don't have the shirts, and they say they're in Memphis, Tennessee, as as John and Chuck Berry once sang. But it's very frustrating right now, waiting for these damn shirts. It's 3 days past, this delivery date, or 2 days, whatever day this is. But yeah, I'm hoping to get these shirts. I know our friend Gabrielle. She sent me some pictures with her new shirts. Did you order any of those shirts yet?
I did. I ordered 4 of them.
Okay, but you haven't gotten them yet either, have you?
No. Nope. I ordered 4 of them, and
okay.
Yeah, the brown wings, the blue wildlife, the London town, and the yellow back to the egg.
Gotcha.
Well, Beatley Tone got another one. Because he's in England, so they're shipping from here. Of course, he got today. He sent me a picture of himself wearing the brown wings one. So he looks quite dapper in that. We can even show it right here. This is it. This is Tone today wearing his wing shirt. Look at Tone.
Look at that. Look at Mr. Skinny over there. I love it. I'm gonna have to put that one in the cart.
Oh, that you got to get that one.
Yeah. Absolutely. Good looking Tone there. Good looking shirt on you.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, good stuff.
So, yeah, that's exciting. Glad he did that video. And I mean, it makes sense that, as long as he, mixed in shots of all three shows that you were going to be seen. I mean, it's just you and Heidi and Envy, you Heidi and Joan. I mean, it's just. Makes sense to me.
Yeah. I mean, you do see the mosh pitters. You do see the mosh pitters and the Gen Zers pushing their way around.
Yeah.
But Joan is so damn tall. You can spot her anywhere. She's rocking out. You can see her. It was awesome.
Awesome. Glad to hear that.
Very exciting as we get ready to go to some shows here.
Right. Yeah. So shit. Next Saturday. Next week starts the tour.
Yeah, well, I mean, by the time this drops, that first show is already going to be done.
It's actually, it happens Friday.
Friday. That show. There's already been a show done already. Yes. By the time this drops.
Well, I'll be, by the time I get done with work, the show should be over. Maybe you'll still be up. Maybe we can, see if anybody's there and maybe talk about the show.
Maybe we'll see.
We'll see. But anyways, today's show, we should have done this a while ago because, as we know, the lyrics book came out, back in 22, I think, and then a year or two later came the paperback, which had like 4 or 5 extra songs in it. So I have that right here. I got the hardcover right there. You also got the one from Europe.
Certainly do. Sealed.
Yes.
Sealed.
Yep.
Yes, indeed. Gonna keep that sucker sealed right up on top of there. Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
I even have an Italian copy from Luca Perazzi.
Excellent. So we thought it was time to talk about some of the songs that he was interviewed about, and we thought, hey, why not? I love when you can find contradictions out there from things that he might have said someplace else, and then he said it here, but he said something else there. But the 2 songs that I have, I think, are pretty consistent from what he was saying throughout history when it comes to these songs. I don't know. We don't know what each other picked for these songs, so it's going to be a surprise for both of us.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully you'll work with us here, and we'll read a bit from the songs in here. And Andy, why don't you go for this time, and then on the second song I'll go first.
All right. Well, I went solo songs for both of them. I didn't choose a Beatles song. I don't know if you did. I don't know if you did.
I went solo one and Beatles and on the second.
No, well, there's enough Beatles in the world. We need more solo, Paul. So that
right, we do.
Find that. So for song number 1, I chose "I Don't Know" from the first volume of the book. I thought it was interesting that he chose that song to talk about, and let's just let's contextualize this before I dive into the lyrics book. Or the song rather. I think this is going to be the closest to a biography we ever get, right?
Well, many years from now as well.
Nah, that's okay. That's all right up to a certain point, right? But I'm talking about his take on his own songs, and I do think this is going to be the closest thing we get to that. Aside from because that covers the '60s, great, but not his own music. So I do think that the lyrics book is something that's going to have a lot of favorable returns as time goes on. And I'm going to be honest with you. I've leafed through it and I've read songs here or there, songs here or there.
This isn't the kind of book that you just read front to back. I mean, this is a reference book.
You're right. You could sit and read it the whole thing, but I think I've read maybe 25% of it since it came out because, you want to read about a song, you read about a song. You look at the pictures, you look at some of the great things. You want to go to the songs that you want to learn more about, right? You don't need to hear him. You may not necessarily want to see what he says about Lady Madonna or Hey Jude or Let It Be. You know that. You want to go to the other stuff, and that's what we, as hardcore solo people, do well. So that's kind of why I chose I Don't Know. It was a recent song. And he just, I'll just paraphrase it. He says, I was going through a couple of days where I was a bit frantic with what was happening on the home front, things that happened to us all. So the song starts off, I got crows in my window, dogs in my door, because that's how I was feeling. And it kind of spilled out like that. Jesus Christ, I'm feeling so bad. I'm just going to tell it all. Once I finished it, I felt I've had a session on a psychiatrist's couch. It's not often that he feels so quite down, but on this occasion, I was shouldering a real burden. I had a couple of verses of moaning to myself with the rain as a symbol of sadness. And then I think, what's the flip side of this? Is it going to work out so badly, or can I still find some consolation? I suppose that as a parent, I wanted to say, it's all right, it's okay, don't worry. Then comes the bridge section, but it's all right, sleep tight, I will take the strain. You're fine, love of mine, you will feel no pain. So that fits out the basic idea. I'm talking about my troubles as I would in a blues song. Well, I see trouble at every turn. I've got so many lessons to learn. When you've got the blues, you've got the blues, Paul says. Some summing it up here, a little bit jumping ahead. He says, this is one that we haven't done in concert yet, because it's a little complicated and I walk a fine line between, there you go, between doing music that's very simple, rock and roll with 3 chords, 4 at most, very minimal, or the music of my dad's era because of the melodies and the harmonies and the wit of those songs. I think the great writers of the standards of dad's era, like Harold Arlen, Cole Porter, the Gershwins, all came out of that tradition. He says, I Don't Know is just one of those songs where I went out of my comfort zone. It's not just the F, G. There are A flats and E flats in there. There's a little more color. I like to try different things and experiment. But he often says, I like writing a song is like talking to a psychiatrist. And this song is just like that. It's me getting my troubles and thoughts out and wondering what I'm doing wrong. But the answer is, I don't know. To have such a song open up an album on such a down note.
Right. You don't see that often.
You're used to McCartney albums popping at the start. And that was one where you're like, whoa, what's this all about? What's all this going to be about? And that's what was different about this. So,
well, Egypt Station has a few songs like that, like, Happy With You. Is he talking about himself? Maybe. I don't know. Is he talking about himself or other family members? I know what Heather, she just got close to her real father at some point, and then he committed suicide, and then she lost him to suicide.
Mel C.
Yeah. So who knows what he's singing about, whether it's for himself or a family member. But it's a very powerful song. Glad he picked that one.
Thanks, man. What'd you got?
Okay. I went with the song that a Beatles song that I generally just don't like, but I want to read up and see what he said about it, because in a way I kind of want to know more about this song and his feelings about this song, because it's, he talks about, being positive. Okay.
Sure.
And, imagine, if you will, 1967, we're in the height of flower power, the height of drugs in the UK, the swinging 60s. Brian, their manager, has just passed. And then, here comes a single called Hello, Goodbye. And Paul writes in here, because I'm attracted to the binary, the state that quite casually, but I think there's actually a lot more to it than just saying I'm attracted to binary. Once you get down to the scientific biological level, in my core, I probably am the binary of all of us are probably more binary than we might realize. When you think about it, binary is how computers work. You want to go this way, you want to go that way. Well, I'll try to go that way. Okay, now do you want to go that way or this way? As a fundamental level, that's the whole thing. That's how they make their conceptual decisions. It's just zeros and ones, a yes, a no. I'm not an expert when it comes to computers, but I'm fascinated with how they work. So yes. Oh, I'm sorry. So you say yes, I say no. You say stop, I say go. And in terms of writing a song, it's easy train to get on. You say black, I say white. You say curtains, I say carpets. You can always find an opposite, and just in that act of finding opposites, you say light, I say dark. There's something attractive and fun about it. So yeah, and then he talks about talking about the song with Alistair Taylor. And about Alistair was asking about asked me about writing and showed him how this back and forth could be employed in writing a lyric, underprinting it. There's a 2-part call and response, and as we know, it happens a lot in the Beatles world and in solo Beatles world. The whole song is about this, that, you and me, with a I say high, you say low. I'm thinking about people that aren't coming along with what we're doing in a generation. Stick in the muds, as you say. I think we know a few of those. I knew quite a few people like that. Also with I Say Hi, we're in the summer. In the summer of love and drug references again, and you say low, we don't want to be part of this. You're sort of, a straight person or a square. If you will. You say why, I say I don't know. There you go, I don't know again. And then it's obvious that you are going to sum it up. You say goodbye, I say hello. He talks about Brian's death and the impact that had on the band. And then, just trying to stay negative. And he says in here, it's so much easier to be negative, which we know some YouTube people like that as well. And it's harder to be positive, right? You can be positive, you can be negative. He talks about the influence of the song going back to Vincent Minnelli's 1958 romantic comedy Gigi, and it was such a clever idea. He talks about Hello Goodbye shows off binary that we took great advantage of in the Beatles. With regard to John and myself, the great attraction we had for each other was that it each had a bit of the other didn't have. John could be quite cynical. I was opposite in that respect. So for the single release on the A side, we had Hello Goodbye. And on the other side, we had John's I Am the Walrus, full of uncertainties, and that opposite worked well creatively, but also commercially. Hello Goodbye, at its heart, is a fun and catchy song, and has stayed at number 1 in the UK for 7 weeks. Now, this is interesting because it was also a UK or a Christmas number 1. So this was their 4th year in a row. 4th in 5 years where they had the Christmas number 1. So that's pretty impressive, But yeah, I mean, I learned a lot with this song, and maybe I'm going to try to listen to this one a little bit more fresh ears. Take more of the positive out of the song and go with it.
It's an interesting choice that you had there, Tom, because it opens up with the death of Epstein, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What does Paul do, right, when he's faced with sadness, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fight or flight response. He writes a song, right?
Right.
Whether I lost my little girl about his mom, or like a seismic event like Epstein dying. He instantly switches his thinking to go positive.
Right.
And that's going to tie into my second song. But in your case of Hello Goodbye, the examples of the call and response and the up and the down and black and white and
right.
It's a simple yet so complicated lyric and song structure that only a genius could come up with it, right? It sounds so simple, right? But structurally,
you kind of take this one for granted in a way, in my opinion, anyways. It's there, it's a big hit, but I never considered it like one of their great tracks.
Oh, I always thought it was one of their best tracks, and the fact that he opened up the 2002 tour, playing it for the first time live ever, was pretty significant. Had never played it live at all, and in 2002, his first tour after Linda, he dusted it off. So that has significance there. But I do think that it's close to a 3-minute pop song that on the surface looks so simple, yet is so complex when you think about where the writer was at the time, right, and channeling the grief and saying, look, okay, like, we've lost our manager. We need to dive into work. We need to be happy. We need to be positive. We need to be joyful. We don't know what the hell we're doing now, but we're going to figure it out because we're great songwriters. And
I think that's part of the Maharishi talking as well. I love the kind of Indian bit there at the end with the Helas. I'd like that influence in there as well. I mean, as we remember in the Beatles anthology and other documentaries when John and George come out in the blah 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 blah. Maharishi, tell them to keep him in good spirits, keep him in happy thoughts, in his mind. So, I can definitely see that working for this song.
Yeah, and they thought so highly of it that they used the footage from the Hello Goodbye for the Now and Then music video.
Right.
So, pretty cool analysis and good choice.
Cool. Thank you, sir. Next track I picked, because I'll go first on this one, is a song. It's a solo song that has some Beatles ties to it. As we know, he worked on this in January of '69, and John has a little fun with it towards the end there, as we got to hear in the Beatles Anthology Volume 3. And my second song, I'm picking Teddy Boy. I like it when he talks about family members, because you don't really necessarily hear a lot about his family members throughout his life. They're almost kind of like, in a way, pushed to the side. He goes, my second cousin, well, maybe. I mean, but the family, other families, not the immediate family. I'm talking about the extended family. My second cousin, Ted, is the son of my cousin, Betty Donner, who was a big influence on me musically. She loved the singing, introduced me to songs like My Funny Valentine, Until There Was You, which, as we know, he performed later on. Ted was their first boy. So that's partly where I refer to him as Teddy Boy. It's as I'm just over 10 years older than him, but the Teddy Boys were also the Ruffins of my youth, the guys who wore long frock coats with velvet collars, drain pipe trousers, and cream-sole shoes. Their shoes were also known as Beetle Crushers or brothel creepers. These Teddy Boys were notable in the UK for hanging around street corners waiting for a little aggro, which is just aggression. So Ted is the jumping off point for the song, but as usual, it takes its own cue and puts on its own show. The tales about his soldier dad are pure imagination. The lines Teddy Boy's here, Teddy is going to see you through, are what I imagine Teddy's saying to his mom when he was trying to support her. It's not too much of a stretch to connect this to two sources. One is the terrible sense of loss I feel about my mother. Teddy is the other version of myself, trying to console myself while purposely consoling my mother. The other is that Teddy Boy was written during the oddly productive time we spent in India, 1968. The Beatles actually did several takes of it in early 1969 for Let It Be film. They were mostly acoustic takes with a little electric guitar from George, but there was a bit of tension between us all, and it wasn't released until I included it on my first solo record, McCartney. Ted actually went on to have a successful career as an entertainer, like his dad. The whole family is steeped in show business, as it says. So as somebody that is fascinated by January of '69, I love hearing about the songs and the process and what he's thinking. We know that this was on the Easter demos as well, or Easter tapes as well. After they came, so there are other versions out there of the song, and I love every single one of them. I love the Do-Si Do with John. It's so humorous, but anytime that he jump up. But anytime that he talks about extended family members, as you said. It's kind of cool to get a background, which you don't get often, and to see that interpreted into songs.
No, and then of course there's the '50s tie-in, like being a Teddy Boy, and
yes,
so the double play there.
The '50s, yeah, I mean, the '50s influenced all of them so much. I mean, that was their time as getting into teenager years. You got all this rock and roll, all this music coming into the port.
It was not good to be a Teddy Boy, though. If you were a Ted, you were down, you were headed for like the wrong path.
Is that right?
Absolutely. Jim McCartney couldn't. No, John Lennon was a Ted, and he was like, "Look, you don't want to be like him." There was a negative connotation with being a Teddy Boy. Didn't want that. You didn't want your child to become one of those. Oh, he's
no association.
Right. Ted. Did Paul obviously put the family home spin on it version too?
Right.
But there's a double. There's a double connotation there with that song.
Yep.
So,
yeah. So love it. Love a song.
Good choice. Good choice.
Thank you.
My second song is also a solo song, as you know. It's from the 1980s, and I went with Pipes of Peace. And a lot more family ties with the Pipes of Peace song. We'll just go real quick. He says around the time Pipes of Peace was being written, at the beginning of the 80s, he was in a bookshop because he said when he was a kid, he used to like to hang around bookshops. He found a book by the Bengali poet Rabindranath Tagore. And in there, it said, light a candle or something similar. So he just moved on and thunk about it a bit. That was the start of the song. So he says, I like this poetry, so I nicked this one line, which is fine.
It happens. Right, John?
It happened. He said, I might have misremembered the line. It might have been the idea of lighting a candle to love, but that was what I remembered. It's what we all long to hear, getting together, love one another. And then he starts to quote the song, little children being born to the world, giving all we can to the war. That war is life,
right?
As well as the war, wherever it may be today, that is maiming our planet, is one. Songs of joy instead of burn, baby, burn was a phrase that became famous after disturbances in Watts that destroyed much of downtown LA with the riots. So this song, written years later, became sort of an anthem for peace, which was very heartwarming, heartening too. It became sort of an anthem for peace, and it was a #1 UK in December of 1983. These are the man's own words saying here, so he's really proud that Pipes of Peace is in the UK.
It should be. Yeah, it should be.
And then here we go back with the whole family and the upbeat. My upbeat attitude really goes back to my Liverpool upbringing. Win, win, win. After the war, there were people amazingly optimistic. This is what I was talking about with Hello Goodbye. With like people, you just got to be optimism, right? They were so glad just to get out of the war. You know, he says our family's annual New Year's Eve party was a joyous thing where everyone sat around singing all optimistic songs, roll out the barrel, have a barrel of fun, tunes like that. My dad was on the piano and everyone was having a grand old time. I'm very lucky to have been born into such a happy family. And he just talks about the video, it was great fun making the video for the song, directed, as we know, by Keith McMillan, and recreating, obviously, the truce, from Christmas Day in 1914. As between the British and German soldiers. So, I mean, really a song that stands the test of time that we'd like to see an older McCartney very proud of on an album people like to take the piss out of. And, there he is right there in his own words saying, I'm proud that it's a UK #1.
Hey, listen, fantastic song. I'm all about that song. And plus it was his last UK #1 song. So it says a lot.
Yeah. But I mean, all the songs we picked have so many ties steeped in family, peace. Like, this is who this man is. So you'd be hard pressed to go through all these kind of lyrics and not find one hard pressed to it. Now, I thought about doing Hi, 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 because that was an interesting one. Because, that's bad. There's bad Paulie, talking about the lyrics and sex and all that stuff.
If everybody likes this, what we're doing with this, let us know in the comment section. We'll keep going with this. Like, maybe once every other month, maybe we'll read a couple more.
We'll pick two.
We'll pick two. Right?
So how often are we picking this up to go look at it and read the lyrics of the song?
Right. Wipe the dust off it. Every 2 months or so, and we'll read a couple chapters.
And just don't take it with you into the bog.
Well, that's what the paperback version's for, isn't it? Anyways, so that was a lot of fun going through these songs. I'm looking forward to doing more of this. So let us know in the comment sections if you like this idea and you want to see us continue on with this. So, but Andy, you started not started, but just kind of made a little changes to your other YouTube channel. Yeah, relaunched. There you go.
Relaunched. Yeah. I as you know, I had Andy's Music Vault kind of as like a sub legs thing, and I said, well, let me take all that stuff and just put it, because I already had a YouTube channel with my own name, because I know, like, when you Tom, you comment on videos and stuff, it's just your name, right? And I was using bootlegs for a while. So let me just have my own name on there, and I might as well. I had some content on there. I had my other stuff, and I said, let me just merge the both of them and make my own brand new one, so I can still do side stuff that's not Beatles related, and I'm sure I'll do something Beatles related here and there, but it's mainly going to be non-Beatles. And I relaunched my own YouTube channel, which already had 1,000 subs because of the content that I had on there. I had concert films and bootlegs and stuff, which had some of those videos have 198,000, 200,000 views.
Excellent.
So I said, let me take that. Let me use that. And now through the medium of like Two Legs, obviously, and joining this show, kind of backdoor and get people into that channel to discover some of my old stuff. So I did that. And just the other day, I just dropped kind of I would call it my first true new episode on there.
Well, what's the channel? What did you rename the channel, though?
Backwards Traveler.
There you go. Love it.
Which is what you've called me since day one. So I said, well, it's Andy Nichols. You could just search Andy Nichols on YouTube and you'll get Backwards Traveler. But it's Andy Nichols Backwards Traveler, and it's on YouTube. And my first episode, I had an interview with our man Hot Take Slate. Hot Take Slate and Matt Kent, who is a journalist and photographer for The Who, and they have both worked for Pete Townsend and The Who at various points in their careers. And we chewed the fat on the upcoming Super Deluxe box of Who Are You, which is coming out with all the other box sets at the end of October. Dylan, The Who. Now the freaking Stones announced one too. You can keep that one though too. Black and Blue. Black and Blue shit. Yeah. We don't need that. You know.
Nope.
No, we don't.
Although that color vinyl does look pretty good.
I guess. But yeah, the Who Are You box is coming out at the end of October. Something that I was really, really pushing hard for. I even wrote to Matt Ken about that years ago before I was even in podcasting. I said, is this a possibility? And he said no back then, and now it's coming out. So we had a great hour and 15-minute discussion about what's in that Super Deluxe box set, some of the highlights, contextualizing 70s Who. And I know that your cousin David will be dialed into checking that out. So really, really happy and proud to have that out there. And just now I have everything under one umbrella outside of the Beatles and Paul world.
Affirm?
Affirm? Oh, Who Are You? No, that one.
No. All right. Go ahead.
No, Who Are You? I didn't have to affirm that.
Okay, cool.
No. Because it's only $100. See?
Yes, that's right.
It's $100. See, but that's the Who, and the Beatles are the Beatles, and they can command.
The Beatles are the Beatles.
The Beatles and Paul can charge what they want, and that's fine. You know, even John Lennon, which I'll happily show this.
Yeah, show it again, please. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you for Lennon Estate and Simon Hilton for a copy of the 9 CD and the Blu-ray box. Just started checking it out the other day. Pretty comprehensive. A lot of stuff I probably won't listen to, but happy to have it.
You got to listen to it all at least once, buddy. At least once. I mean, I'm really interested to see how this Blu-ray is going to be next year. And as we know, the book will contain the negative part of this release.
But you're not in on this yet.
No. Listen, I know other people have just said, get over it, and I understand and I respect that. Okay. But what's next? Maxwell Silverhammer, for your life, anyways, but I'm glad you liked, I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm glad Joe's enjoying it. I know because he had a reaction video. I'm glad so many people have got it and shown their unboxing because it is a really cool release.
It is. And tying that into my other show, Hands Across the Water, with Billy, Tone, and Kyle. Everybody's kind of done reviews already, and that's great. But we want to do something a little bit different. We're going to wait a little bit. We want to wait till it's out and it's in people's hands, and then we'll drop a video on.
Good idea.
We're going to wait a little bit on that because it's great. Those that got it, but there's plenty of people out there that don't have it yet. And by the time they do get it, they're not going to want to go back and watch.
Yeah, but you know what? It's a shame that there's people out there that do have it. And they just did unboxings. They're not doing reviews of them. And I think it's a shame that people aren't, talking about them and all they're doing.
No, I mean, Tone, Andrew did. Tony did a really Tony was one of the first people to have it up.
Yes.
A very comprehensive review on the differences and stuff. And I know Joe did one too. I haven't seen it yet. But yeah, I mean, full reviews of the music. What's different? What's been taken out?
Exactly. Let people know what they're getting. What they're getting.
Yeah. So we will do that on Hands at some point. Probably when it gets closer to when it actually hits the street date. But yeah, first time I've ever gotten something from the Lennon Estate. One happy honorary Scouser here, I'll tell you.
Right.
But,
that's awesome.
Keep them coming.
Well, that's awesome, buddy. Congrats.
And somebody will be getting a free copy because I had already ordered this. So I'm gonna have two now. So stay tuned to a super mega Sunday live show, which I will give away the second copy. I've already talked to some close friends. They don't want it. I said, fine. I will give it away on a Sunday live. So you heard it here, gang. We're going to do a giveaway. When I get the one that I bought, I'm going to give that one away. But
so polish up on your John trivia, everybody.
Oh yeah, baby. This is not that. There's no cookies, no cookie questions on that live show.
No easy ones out here, huh?
That's gonna be like 30 questions, like Life with the Lions. Third question, where's it from? Where did it? Where was it pressed? This
right.
Chip Mattinger, I'm talking to you. If he wants one.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So that's great. Thank you, Andy. When this episode drops, we will be in Las Vegas, and we will be. No, this is dropping on Saturday.
Yeah, it's dropping Saturday, bud.
Yeah, but we'll be in Las Vegas, won't we?
No.
Is it just Saturday?
Yeah, this Saturday is the 27th.
Oh, I thought we had an episode last week. Okay, then okay, cool. Well, anyways. Well, there you go. Here's this episode. Maybe next week.
This will be probably our last regular episode for a while.
Probably for a month.
Well, we'll see. We are going to be live doing recaps of all these shows at some point. We know that.
And that's what I'm saying. We're probably not going to do a regular episode, but we will do a lot of live stuff. Whether it's here, or maybe one of us can do a live thing on Facebook as well. But we're just gonna have so much freaking fun. And then I got to get a flight still for Minneapolis. I still got to get the flight for Tulsa. Which are back-to-back weeks. So this is gonna,
Minneapolis from Minneapolis. You saw my little tour flyer there. So Vegas is the starter. Then we come back for a little break, and then we hit the road, and we are trailed
hard. We're running,
and that's just October before we even get to November, baby, which is even more special with Nashville and Montreal. Yes. So
there you go. Go.
Stay tuned, and we'll see. We'll be checking in somewhere, partner. I'm sure somewhere across the USA.
Absolutely. So that's going to do it for this week. Thank you very much for popping in and joining us. If you want to follow us on social media, you can follow us at Two Legs Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, X. Please, if you haven't subscribed yet, go to our YouTube channel, Two Legs a Paul McCartney Podcast. And please subscribe, hit that bell, smash that like button, all that good stuff, and we'll see you across the U.S. So everybody out there, as always, have a great day and a beautiful night. Take care.